Okay.
Bonjour Christine.
Bonjour tout le monde. Hello.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning. Did you have a good night of rest?
I did. Yes. Yes. I woke up before my alarm clock went off, and I think I was a little bit dazed. And so I looked at my clock and I was like, oh, what? I gotta get up already. And I was like, I don't want to get up. Like, I really felt like I hadn't slept enough. And then I kind of like, then I properly woke up and I was like, okay, now hang on, what time is it? How much can I go back to bed for 5 minutes? And then I went, hang on, what does that say? Oh no, I can go back to bed for another 5 hours. Great. I'd woken up at like 12:30 or something. So yeah, my brain was not working, and I was somehow seeing. I think I was imagining my worst nightmare, that it was already 5 o'clock. And then I woke up and saw that it was only 12:30. So yeah,
Because you're training all day and then the brain thought that you're training in the night as well.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Back when I was younger, I was a fisherman at sea. And you used to fall asleep at sea, you've been on the deck for hours, you finally
yeah.
catch a wee nap. It would just be like for 2, 3 hours, but
Hmm.
you'd fall asleep and dream that you were at home, and then you'd
Okay.
wake up and you'd be at sea and you'd be like, and it would disorientate you. And
Yeah,
then you'd be at home and you'd dream about being at sea.
yeah,
And then you'd wake up and you'd be like, thank God.
yeah, yeah,
Really weird.
yeah. No, I do that quite often actually, with all the traveling and staying in different hotels and things like that. Sometimes I'll just sort of, calmly open my eyes in the morning and I'll be like, where am I? And I've really got to think for a moment. Okay, I'm definitely not at home. Where did I go this weekend? Because it's like, wait, I was in France last weekend. That means, and I have to like go through my workshop schedule in my head. Oh, okay. I'm in Canada. I'm at Josephine's. Right, now I know where I am. Yeah.
Dazed and confused.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then. Let's get our bodies warming up for this lovely cold morning. Okay. I'm already a little bit warm because I've already done a little warm up this morning before my first class. But I'll assume everyone else has just rolled out of bed, so let's do some warming up. Okay, let's take the hands out to the sides, pinch the shoulder blades back. Breathing in, stretching the arms out and back, standing up onto the balls of your feet. Reaching up. And relaxing. Same again. And again. Breathing in. In. And out. Bring your hands straight up the center this time. Breathing in. Same thing, but straight up the center. And relax down. Up the center. Onto the balls of your feet. And back down. One more time. Full body spinal opening and closing. Push your chest forward, stick your bum out, pull your elbows back, pull your palms back, look up, breathe in. And curl up into a ball, breathing out. Breathing in, opening everything up again. Knees are bent and curling up into a ball. Notice how it's just my spine moving. I'm not leaning forwards or backwards. I'm simply arching. My center of gravity is staying where it is. Hinge forward from the hips, 45 degrees. If that's difficult enough for you to do these kind of things, or 90 degrees if you're okay with that. Feeling a bit of an opening, stretch down through your hamstrings. Relax your spine. Flex your spine back up. Straightening it out. Relax it down. Straighten it up. Lift your palms out to the sides. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Touch your hands overhead, keeping them up. Bring them back. And just flap your arms. And relax down. And roll up. Open up. And relax. Link your fingers, breathing in. Push them out in front of you, curl up into a ball, breathe out. Stretching across the upper back. Release your fingers, lean forward, straight back, lift your palms up. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, standing up. And breathing out, relaxing down. Same again, breathe in. Release the hands, breathing in as you lift up and lean forward, nice straight back. Lift those palms as high as you can. Breathe out. And on your next in-breath, you stand up. Relax down. And relax. Let's say stand parallel. Inward rotation on the arm here. This is a stretch and shoulder activation from the movement of a martial application, but we're not doing it as a fighting application. Okay, fighting application would look something akin to that. You see, just bumping with the hinge arm, bang, maybe covering with this arm, bang, or hitting him with that hand, bang, bang, whack, and then hitting him maybe with the knife edge of that other palm. Something like that. But we're going to do it exaggerated, really twisting and spiraling the body to get particularly the rotational cuff in the shoulder nice and warmed up, but we're still with a full body movement. So what you're going to do is you're going to wind it in like this, you see? That bottom arm, really spiral it in, okay? So rotate your shoulder as far over as you can, but not leaning over. Don't roll your shoulder down, just roll it in, you see? Like so. So your thumb is pointing right into your center there. Now hold on to that inward rotation and brush your hair back with your elbow so your biceps are brushing past your ear, you see? So it's not just your hand going over your head like this. It's right over like that, you see? Then you're going to pull your arm as far back as you can. So you're really opening up through here, squeezing all of these muscles in your scapula through here, squeezing them back like so. Okay, and then your hand's going to kind of brush past the back of your head. So it's gradual. Once your elbow comes over the top of your head and the hand starts coming down, now the elbow is coming out a little bit. So it's not over here anymore. It's coming out to here. But you'll notice that I'm not doing this. So I take it back. Don't do that. See how I've let the elbow come to the front? Keep your elbow back, you see? Like someone's got you in a full Nelson. Or a half Nelson, actually. It's only one arm. Pull it back like so, really opening up through here. Then you just relax your hand to the front, or rather, don't relax your hand, but you're going to externally rotate the arm, you see? So you're trying to rotate the arm so the thumb is aiming down towards the ground. So you're pulling your elbow in. Imagine like you're hitting with the back of your hand turned over like so. Now there's not many situations where you'd want to really twist over like that. Like why wouldn't you just hit in there? It's easier and it's just as effective from a striking point of view. You might find yourself in a situation where it might fit nicely, but the main reason for it is to get this shoulder moving in all its ranges of motion like so. The elbow is bent to about 135 degrees, so it's not bent in right in at 90, but it's not straight. It's about halfway between those 2 points, stretching it over. Then you just relax that arm down as the other one comes through. So the arm only relaxes back to nothing as the other one comes through like so. Now I'm internally rotating that one, so again, just as far as you can, twist it like someone's wrenching your arm in, like this. And then take that, hold that position, take it over your head again, right so the biceps are brushing past your ear. Open it up, get your elbow back as your palm comes onto your head like you're in a half Nelson. Pull that arm back, open up this chest like so. And only once it's fully opened up, the hand is on the back of the head, release the hand and spiral it the opposite way, right over like that. And again, we want to feel maximum movement here. It's not gentle and soft like you would do in a soft qigong, in a yin qigong. It's really spiraled over, really go to your maximum range of motion. And then of course, relax that arm, come through with the other hand, okay? My weight is coming over to the opposite leg of the hand which I'm using, okay? So I'm coming over this way. As I come through here, opening up this section, so I'm getting a bit of a stretch through here. Now, you see I'm coming more straight, and then release it as I put my weight over to the same leg as the hand I'm using. So the weight has shifted to the other side. Relax back, just relax back to center first, and then same thing. Hand in, weight across to that side, take it over, stretching and opening through here, opening up your chest, and then release that through, like so. Bring it across, keep it going. Breathing in and breathing out. So you breathe in as you open this up. A little bit of a hold of the breath just on the top there, and then release out there on your out breath. So that's kind of a variation on the teacup any of you have done the teacup exercise. But keeping it in tight like this gives a different feel, different muscles you're using compared to the big open version of the technique. Both are nice, but lately I've been really enjoying this particular one to get the shoulders strong. Okay, right. I wanted to mention to everyone a bar. You need to get yourself a bar. If you don't have a bar, get a bar. Okay, you don't need a big fancy one like this. That's a big fancy one. So it's fully bolted into the wall. It's very big. It's about 1.2 meters wide and it's about 60 centimeters off the wall. So it allows for some more fancy things to be able to do. You don't need something quite like that, but you need something. So having it like that, obviously, it means you can really, put yourself upside down because you're further away from the wall, right? Other ones are closer to the wall and you whack your head or whack your bum on the wall. The easiest ones you can get, as in easiest to fit and cheapest to buy, are the ones that go in your door frame. Either the ones that sort of extend out like that, but you have to check your door frame, make sure your door frame is solid enough to hold it. Any of these kind of door frames, if it's not 100% properly certified and bolted into your studs, do not hang upside down from them. Don't even hang back from them. I have made that mistake myself personally, and it is not fun, so don't do that. But hanging on them like that is fine, because even if it breaks off, poof, you just drop down. You're only that high off the ground. Your feet are only a few inches off the ground. Yeah, you can get the ones that extend out and sort of push into the door, and you screw them in like so. They're very simple to fit. Or you can get the ones that kind of clip into the top part of your door. They sort of wrap around and hook onto the top. That way you can literally click it in, hang off it, do your chin-ups, and then unclick it and put it away. Very, very simple. Yeah, they're kind of your best options if you just want something really simple. Because I'd like to start doing some stuff with the group using the bar. Hanging off a bar is one of the best things for your body. To strengthen your body, to lengthen, open your joints. It is such a good exercise. And it doesn't have to be extreme. A lot of the people think, oh, it's a bar. We're going to be doing spinning upside down, doing chin-ups and all this. No, just hold the bar and just hang. You don't even have to take your feet off the ground. You can just have your feet here sitting in front of you. You're still getting that nice decompression of the spine. You can rock your knees from side to side, moving your lower spine. You're still training your grip. You're still stretching your back, stretching your shoulders. It is such a good exercise. So for today's class, just go over to either a wall or preferably a door frame. If you can find a door, I've got a door frame here, but I'll be out of frame if I do that. But put your hands like at the top of the door frame so you can kind of lean. Your body's going through the door as your hands. What?
Can you turn the camera?
Yeah, but they know what I mean.
You can do that on the chin-up bar, no?
Yes. Thanks for the advice, baby. So here's the door frame, putting my hands on the door frame, okay? And then just kind of sinking onto it. Be careful the first time you do it. Don't do it too harshly. Not too much out like this kind of thing. Just stand here, okay? And just kind of stretch into it a little bit. So you can do that on a door frame, you see? You won't be able to get the downward hanging part, but at least you can get this kind of stretching overhead to stretch through here. So if you don't have a bar, or you can even use a wall to some degree, and then I can press into it. It's not ideal, but if you've got nothing else, it's something, okay? But if you do have a bar, anyone who has a bar, I'll just do a quick one today, because I think most of you don't have bars set up, at least in the room you're training in, but get yourself a bar. Seriously, get yourself a bar. So just hold the bar, relax down, have your feet in kind of a skiing position, like so. I'm not lifting my feet, but I'm not pushing from my feet either to take the weight off my hands. I'm simply relaxing my body so the weight of my legs is just plonked on the ground. So therefore, I'm still holding most of my weight. I'm holding all my body weight, but the weight of my legs is relaxed on the ground. So it's a little bit less than I have to hold when I'm completely off the ground, you see? So, because maybe for some people, if you've never done it before, it might be too much. And of course, even if that's too much, you can push as much or as little as you want from your feet while still hanging a little bit from your arms and strengthening that. You can hang with a wide grip. You'll feel something different there. You can bring it into a shallow grip. You'll feel something different there. So vary that around. So just get used to that. Hang for just even 10 seconds at a time, but throughout the day. So get yourself a bar, and I'll give you a few tips throughout the classes of different things you can do on it, but they'll just be quick little tips like that, because maybe a lot of people don't have a bar in the room they're training in, so it may not be so practical for a class situation. But I'll give you a couple of tips like that, and then you can do those just throughout the day. That's the best thing you can do. My best advice with a bar is, if you can, have your bar somewhere that's there. This is why I personally don't like the ones you have to clip in, because otherwise, oh, I've got to go and do a session, click and do it. If that's all you can do, great, use that. But if you can have something permanently somewhere, this is constantly here. This is my training room. This is also the kids' play room. Every time I walk in this room, oh, there's the bar. Just grab onto it, whoop. Just swing a little, whoop. Off I go with the rest of my thing. It's not like you have to sit there and do a half-hour workout. Just hang off it a little bit. And then you strengthen your shoulders, lengthen your body. Really works nicely. Okay, let's do a quick little something for our legs. And then I have no clocks of any kind in here. 1 second. Get my little mini clock. Okay. Right, quick little leg warm up, and then we're going to do some Taiji Form, some repetition stuff. So, lunging, stretching through that back leg, just wriggling around, opening up your body, feeling that rear ankle moving forward and backwards, up and down, open and close, just generally moving around. Don't touch that trampoline. Good girl, Clara. And switch sides. Stretching. Ups and downs, forward and backs. Sorry, I lost my concentration there a little bit. My daughter was leaning like this to a shelf, grabbing something, and my laptop was right here. I'm like, okay, bit of this one, elbow to knee, up, up. Listen to your body. Go to here if it's more comfortable. Go to here if you can. Back up. Gradually speed up to what's comfortable for you. Rear arm is spiraling out to the rear. Bouncing up and down. The weight is going towards the leg of your of the one you're touching. This is fast becoming my new favorite warm-up exercise because it gets everything. It's getting your quads, it's getting your bum, it's getting your hamstrings, your back, your chest. So one thing on that, when you're doing the hand movements, really see that rear hand, I'm not just sort of loosely throwing it back, I'm squeezing it as far back as I can, like so, okay? The arm is slightly internally rotated, just a little bit. Oh, it's kind of neutral, but a little bit on the internal side. But yeah, the main thing is pull that shoulder all the way back, The front hand's doing the opposite. Squeeze it in. So it's not just relax here in front of you. It's, I'm engaging my pectoral, all the chest area. Pull it as far across your body as you can. You see? And that way you get and obviously the up part, you're lifting your arms up, engaging the shoulders as you lift up and down. So you're really getting every muscle in your body working. If I don't have a lot of time, maybe I wake up late and I've got to start a class that doesn't involve a warm-up. Obviously these classes I get my warm-up with you. But if I'm doing a private class or something and we're just focusing on a specific subject, this is usually the one I'll do. Just, 10 or 20 reps, and then I feel more or less ready to do anything after having done this. Okay. Quick little full opening. Stretching through the legs. So let's start here. Let's drop into a larger lunge. Again, how large is comfortable for you? You might want to walk the foot forward gradually, or you might want to just drop straight in. If you've never done a drop straight in, test it, medium. If you feel, yeah, that's cool, that's fine, I'm okay with that. Try it a little bigger until you can go down into that full lunge. Full front lunge. Nice, strong, full movement. Place your palms on the ground as we always do, opening up that front hip. So my foot's facing out to the corner. Point that rear toe. Lengthen through your back leg, stretching over the hip. Sinking down through that front leg. Turning towards your front leg. Twisting over. Rolling it back the other way. Really sinking into that front leg. Getting your elbows to the floor if you can. Don't worry if you can't, because that's quite extreme mobility. And then prop yourself back up. Spin around to your back foot. Up onto the toe of your standing leg. Down like so. Wriggle around. Bend your knee, straighten your knee. That is this long leg, of course, not the other one. So bend the knee and sink in. You'll feel a slightly different stretch. Crawl towards your other leg. Again, open up that front hip. Point your rear toe. Stretch and lengthen through. Turn towards that standing leg. Twist into that movement. Really feeling the stretch coming over the hip, that bottom hip, and through the glutes of the top glute. Back to the front, dropping the elbows if you can manage it. Coming back up. Spinning yourself around to the other side. Sinking into that front hamstring, stretching through here. Bending the knee, sinking down further. Wriggling around. Opening up all the different elements of that leg. Sitting down onto the floor, like so. Take one leg out to the side, like that. Bring it back in. Take your other leg out to the side. Notice how I'm turning my body down. I'm not staying in the one position and just taking my leg to the side like that. I'm taking it out, and then the hip is rotating over. So you see my pelvis is kind of turning down into the floor. Bring that foot in. Bring the other one to the front. And then do the same again. Sweep your leg around like so. Turn it down. Bring that foot in. Switch legs. Place that one on the ground. Sweep it out. Roll the hip over like so. And then do the same thing. So that's the easiest version, sliding your feet on the ground. Try the same thing again. Lean your weight forward, but see if you can keep your foot off the ground. It doesn't have to be off the ground, but just at least the weight is coming off it. So at the moment, see, it's like it's dragging on the floor. Just try to lift a bit of the pressure off it, preferably completely off the ground until it gets to the end, then lift it up and bring it back in. But if it's still dragging a little bit, that's fine. Just try and lift it as much as you can. Bring it around so you'll really feel it in here when the leg is off the ground, you see. And then bring it back in. Switch legs. Same again. What? Okay, and then the third level of that is from that position, instead of going 1, 2, you're going to do both together. So you're going to throw your head over the other side, pull that foot in and throw that one out. Like so, okay? 1, 2, balancing on your bum. You can do this one the first time with your palms behind you a little bit, just so you're using them as a little bit of balance, just to kind of, okay, yeah. And they help you to swish your body around a little bit, just using your hands. See, I can throw from this hand over to this hand type of thing. But if you can get it to the point where you can hold your hands in the front and do that, it's really nice for your hips. Okay, sitting naturally, like so. Just roll forward onto your knees, like so. Release your feet at the back, so uncross them so they're just back, and just sit down, sitting onto your ankles. You bring your knees in a little. Sitting down onto your feet, rolling around on your ankles. Okay, we'll try our three-stage get-up. Try stage 1 first, onto your fists. Pull one foot in, pull the other foot in. Go back. If that's really difficult, just do that one again. If you felt okay with that, try the next one. Bring it to here, same position, pull both feet together. If that was okay, try the next one. If it wasn't okay, try that one again. Strengthen your body on that one. Push your fingers onto the ground, so I'm balancing on my fingers this time. Same thing, but on the fingers instead of the fists. So there's an element of that one which is more difficult because you're balancing on your fingers, but there's also an element which is easier because you're higher off the ground. So it's easier on the legs, harder on the fingers. So it's just a different variation. So again, figuring out which one you find difficult, and you should work on that one. And then, what was the last one? Last one, just not using your hands at all. Just flicking into that position, but whilst staying very nice and low. Okay. So as I always say, that last one is quite difficult. Be careful with that one. Work your way up to being able to do that. Okay, we're going to go through some Taiji Form now. Okay. What I'd like to do with you this morning is a little bit of repetition. Rather than doing the whole form, we got into this months ago, and it was working really nicely. So I want to bring that back in, where we just take one posture and do it over and over and over. Just literally doing it over and over and over first. Then I will give you a few tips as to how to make that posture more correct, and then we'll do it some more repetition. My microphone battery is getting a little low. Please shout at me if you can't hear me. If my voice all of a sudden goes away, please shout at me, and then I'll unplug the microphone and just use the laptop microphone, because I didn't get a chance to charge it last night. But it should be fine, but yeah, just let me know if you can't hear me. Okay, we're going to try sit back ready into fishes in 8. That is this posture here. I'll do it this way first, just so you can see it. Then I'll face the other way when we do the repetition, okay? So, this is what the posture looks like. That's the posture we're going to be doing. The assumption is you all know the posture. That's the posture in the form. If you don't, then you can follow along as best you can, but obviously this is for mainly aimed at the people who already know that particular movement. Okay, so I'm going to face this way this time so that when we're moving, you'll still be facing towards me. Let's just do it several times, one side, then we'll do it the other side, then I'll give you some tips to work with. Okay, here we go. Breathe in, sit back. Breathe out. All the way over to the left. Breathe in, breathe out. Reset. So the starting position is Ang. So we're in a bow stance, front weighted, right foot forward, and both palms just out in front of you like that. That's, you've come out of this movement, da da da. This is right at the beginning of the first third. So again, breathe in. Again, reset. In breath. Out breath. In breath. Out breath. Again. Again. Repetition is extremely important with any postures, but particularly the physically demanding postures, such as this one. Now, most people see postures like, I don't know, sitting like a mandarin duck. Oh, that's a physically difficult posture. That's physically difficult. Yeah, that's obvious. But something like Fisher's Innate is also very physically difficult from a flexibility point of view, more so from a strength point of view. You'll struggle with Fisher's Innate if your body is very, very tight, because your body is twisting and turning. There's a lot of stretch going on through the hips, through the waist, through the hip flexor, particularly through here, and so on. Ankle mobility, joint mobility, internal rotation on that hip. Lots of stuff happening there. So obviously doing things like we do in our warm-ups, that'll help very much. But just doing the posture over and over and over again, constantly, repetition like that, is one of the best things you can do. Because it will settle your body in, it'll stretch and open the joints exactly as they need to be for that posture. This is one of those movements in the form which, if you've practiced your form one-sided for several years, and then all of a sudden someone gives you the information that you're actually supposed to do the form both sides, all of a sudden, you do certain postures and you're like, oh yeah, that's not too bad, other side. You come to Fisher's Innate on the reverse side and you'll go, oh, what? Why does this feel so awkward? What am I doing wrong? My foot feels all bent and like it feels awkward. It feels awkward because you've been doing the other side for 3 or 4 years. Your body has settled in, it's stretched, it's opened the joints up because of doing the posture. Even if you haven't done it like really constant repetition like I'm showing you now, but you've still done the form every day for the last 3 years, so that's still a lot of times you do that posture. And of course that posture you do several times throughout the form. So you've forgotten how this posture felt the first time you ever did it. The first time you ever did it, you had nothing to reference to. So you were, oh yeah, well, okay, this feels a bit awkward. Now, after 3 years of training, it's feeling nice and flowing and everything's stretched and opened. Switch sides and all of a sudden you feel like a beginner again, and you're not used to feeling that. So you're looking, thinking, what's wrong? What am I doing wrong? You're not necessarily doing anything wrong. It's just that your body's tight on that side. So you need to do more repetition, particularly on your weaker side. Okay, let's do the other side. So left foot forward and have a feel. Think about, how does it feel? Does it feel a lot tighter? Feel like you're not flowing as much? Feel like your hips are tighter, your ankles are tighter? Whatever sensations you're feeling here. Just general in-breath. Out-breath. In-breath. Out-breath. Again. In-breath. Out-breath. In-breath. Out-breath. Same again. In-breath. Out-breath. In-breath. Out-breath. Again. This is our left side now. Let's do it with... That's okay. It won't record that. Let's do it with a little bit more speed this time. Throw yourself into it a little bit. Okay? Learn from the momentum. Sit back and... Okay. So just a little bit quicker. Not overall, not quicker as in don't go and try to finish earlier. I still want you to feel those slow down points, but throw yourself into them a little bit. So we're going to sink back. Whoa. See a little momentum going into that. But then when I get there, I still settle. Then I throw out to the side. Whoa. There's the settle there. Then I coil in and throw out to the other side. Whoa. And settle there. Again. One more time. In breath. Out breath. In breath. Out breath. Okay, couple of things. A few things to look at. When you're doing sit back ready, the sit back ready portion of the movement, What we want to do here is sit back. So from here, you sit straight back, like so. Okay, you're in your front leg, just sit straight back. But there's a very slight opening and closing of your center when we do that movement. So we open to the left and coil back to the right. But see how the hand almost came straight back, just with a little, see that? It's like a little S, a little snake-like movement. We do not want something like this, moving out to the side. In fact, beginners are often taught, just sit back and tuck the hands in, really, really simply. And that's fine if you have someone struggling with the movement, that's fine. But ultimately, there should be a very slight opening of the center and then a closing of the center, tucking that right shoulder back so it's loaded in for the next movement into Fisher's Innate. So. But the most important thing here, which people don't get, is that the left hand has to come in when you turn out. Okay, so watch my left palm here. I'm exaggerating a little bit. I'm doing a slightly larger movement so you can see it. See that? I'm not going like this. And then bringing the hand in. The center turns this way, but the hand comes in to the movement. Watch. See, it's sucking in from the movement. It's not moving with the center to the side. It's coming in this way. It's borrowing from the natural momentum out from the previous movement and then coiling in. Almost like as if you're throwing a punch. If I throw a punch like that, right? A normal straight punch, bang. Then I turn my center back the other way and throw another punch. Bang, bang. See what happened to this hand? It came in, didn't it? It didn't go like that. So you don't have to turn your arm the same direction as your center. Your hand can come in and coil in, but the shoulder pulls back, the arm pulls back rather than going out. Okay? So because we've just done a forward action, wow, there's your forward action. I'm going to do like as if I'm throwing a punch. So that hand's kind of coming into guard. It's actually doing a defensive action. I'm catching a punch here. Catching it with my left palm, hooking it in underneath my own arm. As I open the side, there's the eye strike. It's a slashing kind of eye strike that way, not a poking. And then, see, that's the tuck. So that's the hit him, and then tuck so that you can hit him again. So we're not finishing in the open stance. So it's open, close. But on the open, you see the hands coming in. It's almost touching the arm. You see? And then it touches the arm just as you start closing. It's a really nice, it's one of my favorite techniques actually. It's a lovely technique. Sorry, they all just got excited because Mummy said they can have popcorn with the movie tonight. Open, close. It's a funny one, that one. Let me just show you the application of that. It'll really help to visualize what's happening. Let me just grab a set of arms. Could I have your arms in here, please, darling? So, let me show you this so you can visualize it. So, okay, she's here like this. She's throwing a right straight punch. See that? Now, I'm doing it more martially, of course. I'm not doing it as per the Qigong, but you can still see where the Qigong has come from. The intent of the application is in the Qigong. Now, again, I probably wouldn't be standing like this when she attacks me. I'm going to be standing more in a more relaxed position. But that's the idea. She's just slowly now. She's throwing that straight through my center, into my face, neck, wherever on there. I'm catching it in. See, it's coming this way, like so. like that. I'm actually pulling her onto me. And the other hand is coming out, whomp, and coming across her eyes that way, like so. Do it this side so they can see from there. You see? Taking it under that way, whomp, and the eye, like that, you see? Across the eyes. Okay. So once you've done that, the main thing I want to show you today, there's so much in brush knee twist step. Brush knee twist step is one of, not brush knee twist step, what are we doing? Fishes in 8. Fishes in 8, there's so much complexity in this movement. So all I'm going to tell you about today for the fishes in 8, because I'm assuming you know sort of roughly where to put your hands and so on, is the weight distribution. Where to place your weight. Let's really focus on the weight. And then maybe in another class later in the week or next week or something, I'll give you some really intricate details of the hands. Okay, so weight distribution. I'll just show you this way first, and then we'll drill it together. Obviously, I'm front weighted to start. I sit back. At this point, I'm about 80%, 80 to 90% back in the rear leg, okay? Like so. So there's still a little bit of a bend left in that front leg. As I turn, the very first thing I do there, right, I actually sink a little bit more into my left leg, right? So now I'm down to like a full 90% sink. These percentages I'm giving you, of course, are general guidelines. You don't have to go, wait, let's get the scales out and be exactly 90. If it's 89, you're all good. Even if it's 91. Okay, so from there, I'm turning my center. As I do this first strike with my right palm, there's a little bit of a sink into my left leg. You see, just there. Sitting back. Well, it's like you're just continuing from that sitting back. You see, I'm already sitting back to there, and then see, there's just just as my center starts to open, I'm still thinking sink in my left leg. And as I strike him there, there's now, this is a really difficult one to explain because I don't want you to sink your weight into your right leg. Do not move your weight into your right leg. But you do need to distribute some weight into your right leg. Here's a good way of explaining it. When we do tripping repulse monkey, those of you who know that posture, and we come back like so, in the second third, we come like this. Obviously, I'm front weighted at the moment. All my weight is on that standing leg. When I put that leg down, see how there was just like a settling into that back leg? So when I finish, I'm 70-30, okay? We do not want to do this. See, it's like I'm staying forward, but we also don't want to do this. See, now I really felt like I sat back. I moved my weight back. What I want to feel is like just, like as if I'm just putting the foot down, boom, but I'm staying on my front leg. I still feel like all my intent is staying forward, boom, even though, yeah, a little bit of weight has kind of dispersed, a little bit of balance weight has dispersed into that back foot. So from here, by the time I get to here, there's just a tiny little bit of extra pressure in that foot. By the time I get to here, now I'm only about, I would say 70-30. In this position, I'm 70% in this leg. You see, I'm not like this. Just feel it. I guess the point is, here's another good way that I've given as a tip every now and again to students. Keep your weight in your left leg. Think about your weight being in your left leg. But just distribute enough pressure into your right leg so you don't feel extremely awkward and uncomfortable. Okay? So I sit back. If I stay where I am, like all sunk down in this leg, staying there, I'm staying there, this just feels, it feels horrible. It feels like I'm, fighting someone like this. It feels very awkward and uncomfortable and tight and bunched up. But equally, I don't want to do this because now I feel like I'm moving away from my target. So I want to feel like I'm staying here. My intent is staying here. But at the same time, see that? I definitely feel like I'm there. Here I am. I'm right here. But I've just distributed enough pressure into that leg to make everything line up. That's about the best way that I can explain it. Okay. Now, one last thing, when we come back, I continue moving. Now's when I start properly sinking my weight across. But when I tuck the arms in, keep your weight more in your left leg. That's all I can say. So you're starting to move. You are definitely moving. Don't just stay where you are with the weight. You begin moving. But at that point, when I'm facing the front, my hands are neutral, ready to push out, I'm still somewhat on the left side of center, like 55% or so in that left heel. So now when I push the hands out, I can sink into that right leg, boom, like so. Okay? Now let's just drill that another couple of times each side before we finish the class. We'll do it this way first, with that in mind. So sitting back. Little bit of distributation into the right leg, coming across but keeping a little back in the left, and now sinking into the right leg. The final position, I would say you're about 80% in the right leg at that point. Let's do it again. Let's do it again the other side. One more time for luck. All right. Hope that gave you some nice insights into that particular set of movements. All right, there we go. Any questions?
Eli,
yes.
with this movement, I have to be careful not to collapsing by here.
Yes.
It's difficult.
Yeah. The main thing with this one,
On the left side, it is.
yeah. You need to, because you're closing your hips, when you do this one, so the most important thing with this one is you're actually closing your hips rather than opening them. So when you're coming in here, this knee is usually the worry that it's going out that way. So you need to squeeze these muscles in here, your adductors in here. As you close your hip in, you've got to pull your knee in. You should feel this muscle here really squeezing. In the same way that when we open the hip, when we do a movement like this, the knee tends to collapse inward that way. So we have to engage the glutes, boing, to bring the knee back out. So you're using this muscle here to open the hip, opening the quad. When you close your hip, anytime you close your hip, but this is a very extreme closing. It's a very, very tight closing. So it's a little more pressure and you'll really feel those muscles in the middle there. You've got to squeeze them so that the knee, stays in alignment with the rest of your body.
Papa.
Shh. Any other questions? No? All good?
Just, I don't know if I was here yet, it's just the timing. See when you come to the end,
Yeah.
come on, then you're going out, you time it. I always seem to be covered for my foot before my hands actually get there. Is that part of the timing? Well, always been at the time, it's like, there's a ball in the foot, but I still go.
No, so
The timing's like,
yeah, okay, so the main thing there on the very end of the movement, this is an important element. I'll show you this one. Watch out, Claire. Okay, so when you finish that movement, the first part of the movement, there is a little, this is very fractional, so we don't even usually mention it to beginners, but it's very fractional pressure into the ball of the left foot as we come out, and then it sinks into the heel. It's barely noticeable, but I can feel that little change. It's to do with where the intent of the movement is going. When I'm coming back, I'm sinking into the heel and straight into the heel. There's no ball of the foot there, not until we do single whip. When we open the center, that's when, again, a fraction of pressure goes into the ball of the foot there, and then back to the heel, and then into the next step. I think the reason you're rocking into the ball of the foot is because you're opening your center too soon. So from this position, I'm coming in, watch where my center turns. See, I have not opened my center in any way. I'm turning to my right as I do that movement. I'm striking that way. I'm not striking that way. I'm not opening into the strike. You're opening your center into single whip. So you're tucking it in. It's a boom, that type of a strike coming across your body. You see? Wow. That way you're nice and tucked in, ready to open out. Open, close, open into your single whip movement. So that's when you get that little ball of the foot. So yeah, that's another really, that's what I was going to say. At another point next week, I'll really explain about the hand timing and things like that. But just for now, to answer that question, yeah, turning to my right. So everything's closing. Bah, there's the strike. Now, when the center opens, the hand should also be opening into the next movement. So the center turns to the left only as you start single whip.
cool.
All right, nicely done, guys. That's it for this morning. Tomorrow morning is Saturday, so that will be 7 a.m. Normal general class like this, bit of that. 7 till 8, and then a bit of strength and mobility training for a half hour after that, if anyone wants to join for that session. So have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Au revoir.
Bye, everybody.